So we're here at the Neptune Cigar Superstore, and this tutorial is going to talk about how to properly store your cigar. Storage is very crucial for maintaining the quality of the cigar. You want to make sure that you store your cigar between 65% and 72% humidity. That's to replicate the tropical climate in which the tobacco is actually grown and these cigars are made. If you don't store it in that percentage of humidity, what's going to happen is you might experience an uneven burn of the cigar, a moldy taste. It also might split the cigar, it might dry out the cigar, and it also might taste really bitter. You also want to store your cigar under 73 degrees Fahrenheit. If you don't do that, you might get a tobacco beetle infestation actually. So the best way to achieve those conditions is to store them in a humidor. Now, a humidor is a tightly sealed box which can create a microclimate which achieves all those conditions that we just talked about. There's a couple different types of humidors out there. There's this kind, which is just a very basic humidor model, fits about 40 to 50 cigars. There's also this larger, nicer case, which has a glass top and fits about 120 cigars. And then there's this one, which also has a glass top, but it's a little smaller and it fits about 20 cigars. Now, if you're on the road and you want to take your cigars with you, there's a little bit of a portable case here, which you can open up, and fits about 15 or so cigars. Now, if you're looking to buy a humidor, you can visit us at neptunecigar.com, where we have hundreds of models for you to choose from. But just remember, when looking for the right humidor, you want to make sure that it has enough room for the amount of cigars you're trying to store. Let's say you have 25 cigars that you're looking to store, buy a humidor that fits around 50. That way, there's enough room for the air to circulate inside. So now we're going to go over some of the parts of the humidor. When buying one, you want to make sure that it has this cedar lining. The reason they use cedar is because it helps maintain the humidity inside the box. They also all come with humidifiers. This one is a green foam humidifier, which is pretty simple and basic. It's not really the most efficient. If you want to upgrade, you can use this Cigar gel, which is definitely a lot better. There's also these Humi beads made by Cigar Mechanic. And the most efficient way is this electric humidifier, which you can just set to 70%, and it's going to automatically regulate the humidity inside your humidor. The third part of the humidor we're going to talk about is the hygrometer. The hygrometer is going to give you the readings for the percentage of humidity inside the box. This one is an external analog hygrometer. They also have this one, which is an internal analog hygrometer, which you can just put inside the box. There's also this one, which is a digital version. And this one is also a digital version, but you can recalibrate it using this button. Now let's say you're not storing your humidor indoors or in a room temperature environment. It's probably a good idea to buy a thermometer and put it inside your box to help you monitor the temperature. Now remember, it's got to be under 73 degrees Fahrenheit. So now that you have your humidor, there's two things you want to do to make sure it's functioning properly. The first thing you want to do is you want to make sure you're getting an accurate reading from your hygrometer, so we need to calibrate it. If you have a digital hygrometer, you should be fine. Now, if you have an analog hygrometer, there's a couple different ways to calibrate it. The first method is this one-step calibration kit, which can be found at neptunecigar.com. The next way is using what's called the salt method. Now, you're going to need a Ziploc bag, a little container. This is just like a bottle cap, some salt, a little bit of water, and you might need a little screwdriver to adjust the back of your hygrometer if needed. So the first thing you want to do is you want to grab some salt and put it inside your container. You want to put a good amount of salt in there. The next thing you want to do is just grab your water. You want to put a couple drops. Okay. Now you're going to put this inside your Ziploc bag along with your hygrometer, and you're going to seal the bag. You're going to leave it in there for about 6 to 12 hours, and when you take it out, your hygrometer should read 75%. If it doesn't, you're going to take your little screwdriver and you're going to adjust the dial for it to read 75%, and you're all set. So the next thing you want to do is you want to season your humidor. Seasoning your humidor is creating the microclimate inside your case. There's a couple different ways to do it. The first way is just taking this Boveda packet. It's very simple. You can follow the instructions and you can get it done. You can buy this at the neptunecigar.com website. The next way you can do this is you can just take your humidifier out of your box. You can fill it up with some PG solution, You want to grab a little towel and put your humidifier upside down on the towel to make sure that all the excess PG solution comes off. Then you can put it back inside the box. Taking another towel, you want to put some more PG solution on it, but very, very lightly dampen. You don't want this to be super wet. And you're going to very lightly and carefully dampen your case. The next thing you want to do is you want to grab some distilled water with a little container and a little sponge, and you just want to fill this up with some water. You're going to take the little container, you're going to put it in your humidor, and you're going to close it for about 7 days. Doing this, you want to make sure that your hygrometer reads at least 70%, at which point then you can put your cigars inside. So here are a couple tips when it comes to cigar storage. The first thing is that you definitely do not want to keep your cigars in the fridge. This is going to completely dry them out. The only time you maybe want to freeze your cigars is if you experience a beetle infestation. A big question that we get a lot of times is whether or not to take the cigar out of the cellophane or out of the tube. And the answer is yes. You want to do that because it's going to help the cigar absorb the moisture properly. It's also going to allow the cigar to breathe properly, and it's also going to age quicker. The next question that we get sometimes is, how often do I refill my humidifier? Well, it depends on the climate that you're in. If you're in a more dry climate, you can do this every 2 weeks. Let's say you're in Miami and it's a little bit more of a tropical climate, you can do it about once a month. The last question we get asked is if you can use tap water to refill your humidifier, and the answer is no. You don't want to use tap water because the minerals in the tap water are going to ruin your humidifier. You want to use PG solution. The PG solution has antifungal and antibacterial properties, which it's going to prevent any mold or any of that type of stuff from growing on your cigars. If you're looking for a humidor or a humidifier, you can find them at neptunecigar.com, or you can come visit us here at the Neptune Cigar Superstore in Miami.